Hello, fans and friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm AstroKara. This week brings the Scorpio New Moon, one of the most emotionally raw times of our year. And my guess is that you've already been feeling the emotional intensity, because the energy of this new moon isn't gentle. The continued grand water trine does offer us some much needed supportive energy as we're navigating the underworld and working to process what is unearthed. There are several important aspects happening as we begin to bring 2025 to a close. And I've been working to break some of them down in my Astro Focus updates because it's a lot to take in all at once. So before I dig in, I want to encourage you to go watch my Astro Focus from last week. It's called Retrogrades and Reparenting. And this is setting the tone for this week's lunation. We have the Sun, the Moon, Mercury retrograde, and Venus all in Scorpio. And they are in a powerful opposition to Uranus retrograde in Taurus. This is the energy that asks for truth that you feel in your body. The kind that makes your heart race and your voice shake. The kind that requires vulnerability. Scorpio is the archetype that contains emotional honesty, deep psychological truth, and the courage to confront what we've been avoiding. Scorpio teaches us that our deepest evolution comes from emotional exposure. Scorpio asks the piercing questions. Where have I been hiding? Where am I still protecting myself from my own truth? What am I afraid to feel? And behind the confrontation of those questions is the real initiation. It's the medicine that's contained within Taurus. Trust. Trusting your own perception. Trusting your body and your instincts. Trusting your inner voice even when it disrupts old agreements. Trusting your own power. We are being reminded you cannot evolve without letting yourself be seen. And this begins by seeing yourself. And this takes vulnerability that feels like the pressure that rises in your chest before you speak a truth. The tremble in your hands before you set a boundary. The deep silence before you say, this is what I really need. The moment your heart says let go, while your mind clings to the familiar. This is Scorpio's territory, where deep and hidden truths are exposed and require a reckoning. Taurus is the ground of our self-worth, where we place value and our connection to our bodies. Uranus, the archetype of liberation, is retrograding in Taurus for the last time this cycle. And it is bringing somatic breakthroughs. These shifts that you feel in your nervous system before you can even begin to understand them with your mind. Breakthroughs that sound like, I can't pretend anymore. That old pattern doesn't fit who I am now. And my worth isn't negotiable. Breakthroughs that can feel like the exhale you didn't realize you were holding. A sudden clarity that you feel emerge in your body. That quiet inner voice that finally becomes undeniable. Or the jolt that says, enough. These breakthroughs don't come through forcing. They come from listening and trusting what you hear inside your soul, not your conditioned mind. We have been taught to undermine our own self-understanding. We have been taught to deny and override our own emotions and needs. And I'd like to share a recent experience that might bring this point home. My favorite pen ran out of ink. Yes, I had an attachment to this pen. It felt good in my hand. I liked the weight and the way it seemed to glide when I wrote. I liked the shape and slant of my words when I wrote with that pen. It brought me a strange sort of joy. When I went to reorder a replacement, I was surprised to find that it wasn't available anymore. I felt disappointed and even a little sad. I would miss the feel of that pen in my hand and the way it brought my thoughts to life. I call this a micro loss. A pen is not a person. The attachment wasn't lifelong or deep. But you know what I noticed? Immediately, my inner critic's ridicule. Kara, it's just a fucking pen. Get over yourself. And this is where most of us stop. Because we've been taught to just move on. Just get over it. But this is precisely where we are denying ourselves the opportunity to trust in our own sovereignty. It was a micro loss, but a loss nonetheless. And I needed to allow myself to feel the grief. And so I did. I allowed myself to feel disappointed and the brief sadness that followed. All the potential future writing I might have done with this pen is gone. I acknowledged the emotions, and then I offered myself grace. It's okay to feel this, even as silly as it might seem. How many micro losses, micro abandonments, or micro betrayals do we experience on a regular basis that we simply dismiss and force ourselves to move on from? Those emotions stay in our body. They become distorted, and then they come out in some of the most inconvenient of times and places. When enough of us deny our own realities, when enough of us refuse to feel and process our emotions continually, we become a society that lacks empathy. We become a collective of people so detached from ourselves that we are unable to even truly connect to each other. It's time to say enough. It's time to take your power back. And this begins with rebelling against the conditioning that pushes you to self-abandon. It begins with embracing radical Be open to the awareness of what is arising during this cycle. It might be old relationship patterns, inner critic stories. It might be attachment wounds or fears of abandonment or betrayal. Maybe it's your beliefs about love, intimacy, or emotional safety, or your patterns of self-sacrifice and self-abandonment. Because this is meant to be a time of breaking open those old narratives. That voice that says, "You're too much," or "Don't ask for that, you don't deserve it." The voice that says, "Stay quiet or you'll lose them." The voice that says, "You should be able to handle this by yourself." Bravely listen for and feel the deeper truth underneath those protective mechanisms. You deserve depth. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve connection that honors your emotional reality. And you deserve to be loved for the whole you, not the performative version. And this process cannot be a surface level review because it is a cry that comes from the soul. Do not carry this old story into another cycle. And some of these breakthrough experiences might feel like this discomfort that turns into clarity, fear that turns into freedom, tension that turns into release, a deep grounding that follows honesty, a quiet, powerful, "I'm done with this." This new moon cycle offers these truths. Your vulnerability is your power. Your truth is your liberation. Your body is your compass, and your worth is non-negotiable. Trusting yourself, that's the revolution. And everything that's meant for your evolution will rise to meet you. If you're looking for guidance or support for this journey of reclaiming your power, I'm here for you. My Catalyst coaching program combines astrology with trauma-informed coaching to help you recognize and break out of patterns that keep you stuck. I also offer individual astrology sessions that can help you understand your biggest challenges and tap into your innate strengths. You can book a free consultation to see how I might be able to support you. And there's a link in the description. Until next time, take good care of you.